Bill Burke from the Navy. I don't see many Navy in here, so this is what a Navy guy looks like. So I'm going to do a little, I'm going to talk a little bit about the environment that we see, some challenges, and then a little bit about how the Navy might address those. But before I do, I have this joke that I heard that I have to tell people. There's this admiral standing at a shredder one day. He's got a piece of paper in his hand, and he sees an ensign. Says, "Can you tell me how to work this thing?" And the ensign says, "Sure." Takes the piece of paper, shoves it in the shredder, and the admiral says, "I just need one copy." That's how I feel some days in the Pentagon. I don't have any slides today, and I won't talk much about the reserves. And the reason I won't is because in the Navy, the reserves are fully integrated with the operational forces, with the active forces. And we, on average, we have some 20,000 reserves operational every day. That's somewhere in the range of 25 to 30% of our force, of our reserve force. So it is an uncertain world out there. From a security perspective, we see emerging peer competitors, transnational actors, states, non-states, rogue states. We see nations like China, Russia, India, Korea, South Korea, investing heavily in their Navy. And so you could conceivably see those countries becoming power projection navies in the future. As has been alluded to earlier, the hybrid challenge. The Hezbollah, with their surface-to or surface-fired anti-ship missile against the Israelis, got our attention. And as was already mentioned, access to Arctic waters is another thing that's coming, and we need to be prepared for that. As a nation, we're not involved in UNCLOS, so we don't have a seat at the table on how that discussion will progress. The seas, they're important for, particularly as we address globalization. 70% of the Earth is water. 80% of the people live near a coast. 90% of the goods travel across the seas. It is truly a globalized world. Transoceanic trade will remain important, and disruptions to that trade impact not only security and stability, but our way of life. In the economy, General Schmidl mentioned low interest or high interest, low risk loans, or excuse me, high risk, high. What he said. Defense spending is nearly 4% of GDP. Entitlements, however, are 8 to 9%. Just 60 years ago, it was the other way around. We expect entitlements to grow to roughly 25% of GDP. And there's lots of pressure on what we do buy within DoD. Even though our budgets have doubled during the current administration. Personnel costs are up significantly. Planned additions to the Marine Corps and the Army will cost roughly $100 billion. We doubled the amount of weapon systems we've purchased over the last several years. Significant pieces in the economic side. Now, challenges that we see. There's a number of anti-access challenges that we'll have to figure out how to overcome as a country. Ballistic missiles, they're being developed at a rapid pace, and they are proliferating. In '72, there were 9 countries that could shoot ballistic missiles. In '90, there were 16. In 2006, there are 25. We're adding a new ballistic missile capable nation every couple of years. And that doesn't even include the non-state actors who are looking for them and may be acquiring them. anti-ship and anti-air.